Hola, bon dia. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. How are you this morning? Lighting up Christmas. Straight into that. Should we do that first this morning? Yes, because it tends to get squeezed out, and that's the last thing that should happen here. So great to be here this morning. We are in the run. Actually, I was going to say a run up to Christmas. Let's not run, right? It's undignified. Let's just gently stroll towards Christmas. And it's really difficult, is it not, at this time of year, to not feel a little bit of pressure. Do let me know how you're coping with that. I know some of you are the coolest cats in the universe, and you won't allow this sort of societal pressure to get to you. So let me know what your tactics are. I could feel it myself yesterday, thinking, oh, we've got people coming round, we've got shopping to do, we've got the kids to satisfy. They need a haircut. Oh, so do they. I don't. But, all of these things start to add up, don't they? All for that focus of one particular day. And it seems really ironic and contradictory, really, in the season of peace and goodwill, to be absolutely stressed out trying to do all the things you're meant to be doing. So let's give ourselves a bit of a break. Take a breather this morning. Maybe for the next hour or so, you won't do anything except sit back with a nice cuppa of your favorite, maybe a bit of mulled wine, burn off some of the alcohol perhaps so you're not too plastered for the rest of the day, so you're not rendered completely useless. Or maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's fine. We're not judging that. If that's what you need to do today for your peace of mind and sanity and well-being, then go ahead and do that. But let's make sure we have an hour this morning where we're just taking it a little bit easy and remembering what's truly important about Christmas, right? So that, to me, and as we've been saying all along, over here, Expats Portugal on the Good Morning Portugal live stream is Light Up Christmas. So I'm going to go straight to that. We'll have a look at the weather. There's a slightly concerning message coming in from Thunderduck. Is this new news, Thunder, that shops are closing for 2 weeks after Christmas? Let's not have people panic buying, but you're going to be leaving the show early to stock up on supplies. Panic! Don't forget. Don't forget the toilet roll. But I need to find out before you stir everyone up into a panic and stampede for the supermarkets. And don't forget, we've got today and tomorrow, as I understand it, to go buying stuff. What prompts you to say that, Thunder? Do please tell. Is that a new restriction that's been announced, or something you just fear in your water and your bones? Do let me know, please. Andy, Portuguese Andy's here as well, of course, letting us know that pre-Christmas drinks are very civilized for the man cave primates this evening. So it's not on the usual Friday night. It's on the Thursday, the Christmas Eve. 10 o'clock tonight, pre-Christmas drinks, if you want to join the Man Cave folk. Do you want to put the YouTube channel up as well, Andy, so that people can find that if they would like to do that? What a lovely invitation. Thank you very much for that. Deagle's also here. And Deagle and Thunder first in today, and James, stalwarts of the community here. Thank you so much to the three of you for being here so early. And Deagle, thank you so much. Received your Christmas card yesterday. God bless you. That was such a kind and lovely thing to do. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you to you for your loveliness, basically, your contributions to the show. And your generosity, very kind. Wishing you the very best of Christmases, and I'm quite taken by your card and your message yesterday. Thank you so much. Bon dia, Carl, and everyone. Light up Christmas, absolutely, Deagle. Going to watch later. Going fresh food shopping with the Minister of Home Affairs, of course. Pushing the trolley, right? Thinking, do we really need that? I'm not going to say anything, but do we really need that? Or is that just me? 15 minutes yesterday. Well done. You see, he does his 15 minutes as well. He's not going to let the season get to him and stop his mid-term and longer-term goals be messed up by Christmas. Well done, Deagle. Fantastic. So 15 minutes yesterday, and lashing rain in Belfast with mild 7 degrees. The shops open at 8 o'clock. Is that right? The shop's opening at 8 so that everyone can get their Christmas shopping. And have a massive stress and furore for that. How long does Christmas dinner take to make, and then how long to consume? I'm not being a bar humbug about this, but it is interesting, isn't it, that we might not have found a more leisurely way to enjoy Christmas, rather that intensity of focus and preparation. All for, is it just me, or do we all look at our plates after we've finished Christmas lunch, if we've been involved in the cooking and preparation, think, was that really worth all that trouble? Isn't there a better way of doing this? Maybe the grazing is a better way. Maybe a buffet, some way you can nibble all day long and just keep producing. That's more like the French idea, isn't it, of cooking? I remember that with my wonderful French uncle, Christian. who told me once he tasted both of our cheeses from the UK. There's a French cheese joke there, you see. And he would just be in the kitchen from the beginning of the day to the end. And there would be the main meals, of course. There'd be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But there would be something on the go all the time. And I think it's a nice convivial buffet. It's more of a marathon than a sprint when it comes to the French and their cooking. I think maybe at home, maybe less so in the restaurants, because obviously they've got to stick to a certain schedule in restaurants and hospitality establishments. But I do like that ongoing grazing, food safari kind of thing all day long, rather than the intensity and focus. And one person often, let's face it, it's often mum, isn't it, who does a lot of work, and then she's sweating and stressed by the time she has to sit down, and she's forgotten this and she's forgotten that, and she's running into the kitchen to get it. Oh, the bread sauce! Oh, the cranberry sauce! And then you think, oh, mum, you've gone to a hell of a lot of effort here. I know it varies from household to household, but generally speaking, it's one person, isn't there, who bears that strain and that weight. Is it fair to them, I wonder? So maybe more hands on deck would be another approach to that as well. Okay, so what did I say? We're lighting up Christmas, aren't we? Let's get that back on the screen there, Thunder, and have a look at some of the lovely pickies. I've got some myself today, actually. I had a lovely afternoon out yesterday with the kids. And from where? Oh, yeah, young Digby. Let's start with my eldest picture here. This is of his brother and sister on the beach at San Martino de Porto, looking rather grey. He took this picture himself. I'm going to have to talk to him about the horizon, aren't I, in photographs? But excellent composition. Other than that, young Master Munson looking over there to Salera de Porto on a rather ominous day, but it was very mild on the beach. See, the kids haven't really got coats on, a couple of layers, enjoying life on the beach yesterday afternoon. How super is that? Well done, Mr. Diggs. Excellent photograph. And let's move on then, because we had some lovely photos in yesterday. Didn't really do them justice. For that, I apologize. I think these Bob and Viv, talking of Bob and Viv, they might join us today. Vitor Costa's here. I've just noticed Vitor Costa. That's Vit C, isn't he? He is vitamin C in human form. Very good for you and very good for your health and well-being. He's here, Vit C, after 9 o'clock this morning. Vitor Costa, our man in the north. Maybe Bob and Viv will be with him. And here are some of their pictures, I believe, from the north of Portugal. Beautiful. Viana de Castelo, I think I'll just check. I think I'll check on my WhatsApp to make sure that is the case. Look at these. Absolutely. I'll just leave you with that little illuminated nativity for a moment while I check that is the case, and we can give proper appropriation for these photographs. Oh, I see I've got a video in from Nina. Do you remember Hot Dog Nina up in Castelo Branco? I missed that one, Nina. I will have to come back to that and have a look and share that with everybody tomorrow. But she's a lovely lady who opened up a hot dog cafe in Castelo Branco. And she's a real an inspiration to the kids who come in and have lunch with her. It was really lovely to speak to her. Yes, so these are from Bob and Viv from Castelo, from Ponta de Lima. Completely wrong. Good morning, Carl. Light up Christmas from Ponta de Lima from New Arrivals. Arrivals, that's quite a good word, isn't it? New Arrivals, Bob and Viv. So a few lovely snaps from them. Let me give you the rest of those on the screen. So, that's somebody else's. We'll come back to that one. Lovely picture of Wharton and Stradivarius. A classic shopping forum scene there from Portugal. But let's go back. Bob and Viv's side. Do you call them sideboards? Is it a banquette? What are those bits of furniture called? Although it actually looks like an old-fashioned radiogram as well, doesn't it? That the front might come down to reveal a record deck for playing your old 78s on there, Bob and Viv, as you're rocking around the Christmas tree. So today I'm excited about everything it says there. I think they're taking it seriously in Bob and Viv's household there. And a couple more. So they're in the streets of Ponta de Lima, and the original picture we showed you, we started off with right there. Isn't that fantastic? From Amit over there in the United States. This is a boat. Look at that. That's a fabulous picture. Let me just see what Amit said about that. From our Christmas boat parade on the Potomac. There you go. Is that a thing that we should know a little bit more about, the annual Christmas boat parade on the Potomac River there? That looks fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Amit. And thank you for being such a legend in the Expats Portugal Plan community. You were there on one of the first to seize that offer of our assistance helping people coming to Portugal. And you've stayed with us ever since. You pop back, don't you? And you're of great help and assistance to the newer folks on the plan. And a special Boas Festas, Feliz Natal to everybody on the Expats Portugal Plan as well, making their preparations getting a bit of help from us and our extended associates moving to Portugal. And all the best to you with your plans for the new year 2022. I know some of you are planning to move in 2023 as well. But yeah, a great time of year, isn't it, to reset those resolutions and have a little bit of a restful and mindful think about your plans for the new year moving to Portugal. What's this? I think this came in from Pippa in Botswana. No, please, says the donkey, says the ass. Feel free to lay your kid right in my dinner there. I'm sure room at the inn for the baby Jesus there in the stable. Donkey, I mean, donkeys are a bit like that, aren't they? Eeyore, etc. Feel free to lay your kid right in my dinner. I'm sure the donkey was well fed thereafter. But a lovely scene. The three wise men arriving in the background there. Yeah, what do you bring to a couple who've just had a baby in a stable? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, of course. Wise, some sandwiches or something to eat might have been pretty good, fellas. Okay, and there's that lovely horse from yesterday. That's from Suajo from Rebel Mama, sent in yesterday. To me, that's festive. Those plants in the foreground looking a bit crispy, as I said yesterday. But there you go. That is Christmas in Portugal. Wild horses turning up at your front gate. Fantastic. And here. Who was it who sent this? Oh, this is from Deagle. Let me just check exactly what the location of this photo is from Deagle. This came in yesterday. Ardoyne Ambulance Station, North Belfast. Ardoyne there. The ambulance station lighting up Christmas in Belfast for us. Happy Christmas there, it says on the banner on the front of the building of the ambulance station there, Ardoyne, Belfast. Fantastic. This was me yesterday, actually. That phenomenon there, that geographical phenomenon is San Martino de Porto Bay for you. San Martino de Puerto Rico, I think it's going to be called come this next summer in 2022. Tropical fun in the bay. And look at it, fantastic. You can see over there in the far distance, the scalloped bay, which offers protection from the worst excesses of the Atlantic. And then it comes towards the front of the picture there, towards me, is the estuary that makes for a great walk as well, actually. The estuary path, so many boardwalks and lovely places, woods, as you can see there, to walk. And this lovely Miradoro, this lovely Miradoro looking down, chanced upon it with the kids yesterday and gave them this great perspective over the town in which they live. And here's one without me in it, with the cross looking down there, the bay in a sharper focus. But a lovely place to sit in and ponder and consider what's going on in this bonkers world of ours for a moment. A bit of peace overlooking San Martino de Porto Bay there. One of the family in Alcobaça yesterday, look at this. It looks like Mrs. M is actually physically restraining the children for this Christmas photograph. But outside one of the government offices, this lovely, great big illuminated heart. Absolutely beautiful. And Alcobaça it sees itself, and quite rightly, as the town of love, amor. So get yourself there. Stick it on your list. Alcobaça, must visit. Say hello to Pam when you're in Alcobaça, to Pam Smith. Alcobaça, they just call it. She's the ambassador to Alcobaça, is Pam Smith, who may well be in this morning as well, wishing us a happy Christmas. Isn't that lovely? They've really done Christmas proud. They're lighting up Christmas for sure in Alcobaça. And this one, just finally for now then, unless you send some more into 913-590-303, hummingbirds in California. This is lovely. This is in from Lisa. Overnight. And what is it that Lisa says about this? Forgive me, because I do have to scroll through a lot of messages now, not complaining, but it just takes a little bit longer. I'm very glad of all the lovely photos that get sent in and videos and naughty videos as well. You know who you are. Can't show those on the show. Or can I? It's raining and overcast here in the Bay Area, not San Martino, the Porto Bay Area, but the Bay Area of California, of course. I am making sure the hummingbirds are happy, says Lisa, and they look very happy, taking a moment's rest there and drinking some. What is it you make hummingbirds? Is that some nectar of some kind there? Okay, and Anna. Oh, this just in from Anna. Let me please download. That's a beauty, Anna, from Stockholm. I'll bring that onto the screen in just a moment. Christmas greetings from Stockholm. A reindeer, of course. Not one of the naughty videos Gary Orgles is of a reindeer, saying that life as a reindeer is not all that. I'll just leave that there for now. But here's the reindeer from Anna Olsen in Stockholm. Isn't that beautiful? Fantastic. That's huge, isn't it? That's certainly big enough for kids to wander in and out of and cause chaos on the streets of Stockholm there. There you go. Anna, thank you so much for that. And thank you to all the photos you sent. A very Merry Christmas to you. Okay, quick look at the weather then. as we come up to it takes 15 minutes to get started here on the show, doesn't it? Actually, no, before we do the weather, let's say hello to a few more people. How rude of me. Just want to find out what Thunderduck is at the basis of Thunderduck's message that shops are closing for 2 weeks after Christmas. Matty's here, everybody. Look, hola, bon dia, Feliz Natal, Boas Festas from Matty. And you know what else I've been meaning to do? Tell you what's going on tomorrow and on Saturday. Great news for tomorrow's show. I will share with you in just a moment. 3 cups of coffee, Casola there. Sue's onto her 3rd cup, possibly 4th. And a message from Anna to go with the photo you've just seen. Let me just put that back on, Anna, so that we can put your comment into context. Feliz Natal para todos. Thank you, Carl, and the team for making 2021 a happier place to be in. Also, happy birthday to my daughter on her... Never, you haven't got a 30-year-old daughter, Anna. But yes, look, to my daughter on her 30th birthday tomorrow. Fantastic. Parabéns to your daughter, Anna. Do pass on love from all the community here. Best Christmas gift ever. Oh, fantastic. So spending time by the sounds of it with your daughter, who's 30 tomorrow on Christmas Eve. Fantastic. That's a Christmas to remember then, 30 years ago. Morning from Dominique Carr. Do you know what? I'm going to have a sip of tea. Listen to this for just a moment, folks. Oh, no. You would... What? Oh, there we go.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings a bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
To the GMP Morning Show, you'll hear that in its full version, certainly when I produce my 3rd video of your pictures and videos. 2 of them already on our YouTube channel, if you want to have a look. Features your pictures and videos, folks. A historic building, apparently, in my hometown in Canada, burned down in the middle of my night. A friend texted, couldn't get back to sleep on the 3rd. Oh, I see. Okay, so obviously a building and part of town that you're familiar with. It's always a bit of a shock when that happens, isn't it? When these fixtures and fittings of our former lives are in some way in peril. So I hope everyone's safe over there. And it's a morning all from Owen. Hello, mate. How are you? We're still enjoying the bonhomie and goodness and good vibes that we experienced with you on Monday, Owen, and also going to be defrosting some of the leftovers that were too delicious to leave behind for our Christmas buffet as well. Morning, mate. How are you? Portugal News front page: sales banned in shops. Okay, is that the January sales? Or okay, so we should go straight to that actually, because I think I may have caused some concern among people by sharing that. So I'm going to go right there and get to the bottom of this, because I think I'm hoping that's promotional, marketing sales, not all sales, which is a very misleading and difficult headline for people to consume right now, 2 days before Christmas. Okay, so let's just get to the bottom of this and find out what's going on. Over there on the Portugal News. Is that on your screen yet? No, it's not. Okay, let's pop it up. Yes, it is. It was. Now I've taken it off. Now I'm going to put it back on again. Saldos sales. Okay, not all sales, but let's read into this. Sales banned in shops. The government has banned sales between December 25th and January the 9th, while the period for product returns and exchanges will also be extended. Okay, getting our priorities right. I suppose, to be fair, it's not just all about the grubby marketing, is it? I mean, people need to save money at the moment, don't they? With the way things are. The government decided to prohibit sales between December 25th, Christmas Day, and January the 9th in order to limit travel and avoid crowding of consumers in commercial establishments. Some people will miss that, won't they? Going shoulder to shoulder and elbow to elbow in shops. Between December the 25th, 2021 and January the 9th, 2022, commercial practices with a price reduction are prohibited in establishments. Thunder, I think this means, sales, not all sales of stuff in shops, okay? There is no news that I'm aware of that says the shops will be shut between Christmas Day and the New Year. Well, some way into the New Year, January the 9th, past 12th night. So do not panic, anybody. I'm sure the supermarkets will only be closed on Christmas Day and then will reopen on Boxing Day. In addition to the ban on sales, as in marketing, buy it quick before the sale ends kind of sales, the government has decreed that the deadline for returns and exchanges will be extended. The period, More fun for people who work in shops there, arguing that out with people. The period for the exercise of rights attributed to the consumer that ends between December 26th and January 9th, or within 10 days after that period, is extended until the end of the month, January the 31st. Another headache for those in retail there, passed on to you by your government, looking after your health. Okay, so don't panic. Thunder, I'm not sure you do need to go out, but I don't want to mess up your plans. Sales, as in marketing type sales, end of year sales, grab a bargain type sales, not general sales. Okay, that could be horribly lost in translation, could it not? On YouTube, Portuglish is where you can find the Man Cave tonight for pre-Christmas drinkies. What are you guys going to be drinking? I don't think it's going to be sherry and port. It's going to be beer, a lot more beer. Get another round in. Hola, bon dia, kids from Victoria. And Janine is here as well, everybody. I've already stocked up, bought 50 family packs of toilet roll because it came in so useful during the last pandemic. And you know what? When I was out with the dogs this morning, I was thinking to myself, where is the dignity in this pandemic? And I have to say, it's with a lot of us lot here, isn't it? Throughout this rather frenzied and panicked time and fearful time, we have upheld this idea that we are an open platform to people where we can talk about pretty much anything as long as it's legal and respectfully talked about. And this thing of dignity, it's so easy to lose one's dignity in this time, and we can see it all over the place, can't we? People really have. Let's face it. The toilet rolls was the kickoff really for that sort of thing, wasn't it? Like, screw everybody else. I'm just going to buy as much toilet roll as I possibly can. What were you thinking? A bit, fear attacks and upsets people in a funny sorts of ways. So I do understand it. But dignity in the pandemic, and our demographic. Let's face it. We're getting on a bit, aren't we? Some of us. And it's up to us to uphold that line, I think. I think it's really important. I don't want to sound too old-fashioned or Jordan Peterson-ish, but it's a really important value, I think, to be dignified in times of trouble. Because the youngsters need to see that, I think, looking, where's their hope if the elders of their community, largely, or the world, are freaking out and being selfish and panicking, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's a lot to be said for the dignity of the elders in times of turmoil like this. And I take my hat off, I take my Christmas Santa hat off to you all for being that. You know who you are. Keep it up. The government decided to prohibit sales. Okay, so we've got that, Thunder. I think we've covered that. What am I? Mud? What? What's the matter, Dominique? Did I just put your greeting up and not read it out? Morning, says Dominique. All right, Dominique. I certainly don't want to be upsetting you this time of year, or at all, really. But I don't know what happened there, Dominique, which caused you to say that. But we're all good from here. I hope I am with you. Good morning to you. I may have missed your comment. We've done that, I think, to our satisfaction here. No panic for buying stuff this Christmas. Bon dia from Pam, who I mentioned before. Very good. Please tell me grocery stores aren't closing. Okay, no, that flurry of panic. Bob and Viv are here, and will be joining us after the 9 o'clock whistling. Along with Vitor Costa, Vit C, as he is now known. I don't know if you can hear me in the green room, Vitor Costa, but it just occurred to me yesterday, you are Vit C. Very good for human beings in terms of well-being and goodness. The human form, Vit C, right there. Please tell me the grocery stores are closing. They're not closing. Well, they are for Christmas Day. The normal sort of thing. It's just that the sales have been delayed to stop people gathering and pushing each other about in the shops after Christmas. Okay, and when you get the receipt in your present, and you want to change it because grandma got you the wrong color socks or whatever, you've got until the 31st of January to do that exchange. Muito bom dia todos from Pedro. We've got to find out what happened to Dominique, haven't we? Good morning, Gump Nation. I like that, Viv. It'll be with us in just a little while. We're just doing a prawn ring from Lidl, followed by 12 microwave hot dogs. Classy. I like it. A prawn ring from Lidl followed by 12 microwave hot dogs. Sounds good to me. Depends how many of you there are, though. But that sounds pretty good. You just buy more rings, I guess, and more hot dogs for that particular feast there, Janine. Well done. He's good for our health. He is, isn't he? Vit C? Absolutely right. And you know when you've taken too much vitamin C. I won't go into that right now. Bon dia todos from Jim and Mandy in Peniche, proudly proclaiming that as though it were an everyday thing. Maybe it feels like it. What's going on in Peniche? How are you two doing? Do you need any help from anyone here in the community? I can drive over, Jim and Mandy, if you need anything urgently. Everyone in the kitchen preparing and eating food while talking and otherwise sharing each other's company, or sitting in the living room staring at the tree. Yay! There it is. So there's a nice little Christmas vignette for you. Bon dia Gumpers from Pete. Look, it really has been a fabulous year and lovely to move to a country where they take Christmas lights and roundabouts. Sometimes both. Seriously, yes. We've seen that hybrid, haven't we, Pete? The Christmas light or Principio and roundabout art combo. We do like that a lot. In the forthcoming coffee table book, someone's going to do it. Bon dia e boas festas. In Italy, the past years, it was a custom that everyone brought something for the Christmas Eve or for the next day. We reunite both for 24th dinner and 25th lunch. Excellent. So team effort there. Glad to see it. Not too much pressure on particular people in the family. Bon dia, Andy, mate. I hope you're having a lovely one. It is literally raining cats and dogs here over in Castelo Branco. Yeah, we must do a very quick look at the weather if time allows. But, I mean, you're telling me, aren't you? I've got a bit of a grey sky looking out of the window here. What's the weather probe saying? 14 degrees, though, outside. I was thinking that this morning. I didn't have to put the heater on when I was having my shower this morning. It's so mild. December the 23rd, everybody. 14 degrees outside. Amazing. We were on the beach yesterday. Bon dia alegria from Mark. Not sure if I'm swimming yet, though, on New Year's Eve. We shall see. Oh, sorry, New Year's Day. Bon dia from Povo de Vargem, Feliz Natal. Mark, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you for your greeting. And right back at you, my friend. Really important part of the Good Morning Portugal and Expats Portugal communities as well. Mark Rigby up there, flying the flag for Povo de Vargem, near to where Bob and Viv and Vit C will be joining us this morning. Oh, look, more of the bots are in. We wish them a happy Christmas too, don't we? I don't know how to pronounce that, but there's a lot of these funny tech type bot things that maybe I shouldn't even put them on the screen. Maybe all our files are being drained from our computers as we stare at that. Only kidding. Solar Life Portugal. Hey, Pete, check your FB Messenger. Okay, me being a PA for everybody again here. Send you a link to create an account for that card. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Chris Robinson's here as well. Feliz Natal. Todos, despite the dreadful weather in the Algarve, I'm still enjoying being in Portugal with my family and looking forward to Christmas. Excellent. Yeah, it's a rainy one, isn't it? And suddenly Carl became cross. What was that there? Talking about dignity or telling people off for letting mum do all the cooking? Bon dia, Rudolph, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comic, Cupid, and Donna. Funny, isn't it? Naming one of the reindeer after a kebab. Bon dia e Feliz Natal from Las Vegas. Luis, hello. How are you? Great to see you, Luis. Tuned in this morning. Fantastic. What time is it in Vegas? Water with sugar for the hummingbirds. Nice one, James. Thank you for sorting out that mystery there as well. Not reading the comments, but if you want to send out a greeting, maybe put greeting in capital letters, and I'll make sure it gets read out if you're sending that out to anyone else in the community or somebody else around the world that you would like to watch the show and see that you're wishing them a happy Christmas via this platform. Not this Christmas, as baby goats wait for no one, but we will be getting together once they have popped. Look at that, life on the farm, waiting for the kids, literally. Bon dia, Carl, y bon dia todos. Abu, let me just put on the screen. You were asking yesterday for the number to send in your pictures, and we'd love to see them. Assalamu alaikum to you, Abu, 351-913-590-303. We're coming up to the whistling real fast, everybody. Thereafter, Vit C will join us, the human form of Vit C, Vitor Costa, and Bob and Viv for a bit of Christmas fun after 9 o'clock. Where are we? Oh, yeah, my youngest is in Stockholm right now, freezing his tushy off. There's a weather report. He might come right here afterwards instead of back to the US. Oh, that sounds like a nice little plot twist there. I love Christmas, says Abu, but this year my decorations are low-key because of family issues these days. Though, last year my apartment was like Nordstrom in steroids. Very good. We've got pictures of last year. Let's see those maybe. Carl, I'll send you my Christmas decorations from last. Oh, good. It was so beautiful. We look forward to seeing those. Has Dominic got a hump and gone? I wonder. Was it Dominique who was getting the hump earlier on? Maybe I've upset her, but we shall find out. Dominique Call, where are you? What happened? Come on, it's Christmas. Don't be like that. Today in Portuguese history, then, just before we go and do a bit of whistling, 1807. Napoleon imposes 100 million francs reparations on Portugal following the French occupation. So hold on a minute. How does this work? So he's fining Portugal for the French occupation. Is that right? Or he wants that much money to go. I will go back to my homeland, but you must first give me 100 million francs for this. I wonder if that's how it was. I read the article twice and panicked. Why in the world would they ban discount? They're not banned. They're being delayed, mate. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I think they're just being delayed there. No, Carl. Lately, I'm drinking either red wine or port during the man cave. So it is not all beer, actually. Very refined, Matty. Is that ban? Yeah, the ban, the delay is until the 9th. Okay. And I'll put the link so that you guys have definitely got that. In comments now so that you can look at that. Portugal news. It's about the sales, as in, Christmas, January sales, not sales of stuff in the shops. So relax, folks, okay? Let's not create panic. There's enough of that in the world at the moment. Yeah, the TP situation was just plain stupid. Sorry, I just used water and a cloth as if I had a bidet. Now I have a bidet. Oh, toilet paper situation was just plain stupid. Okay, I wonder what you were talking about there for a moment, Rebel Mama. Let's do some whistling, everybody. We'll come back to your lovely comments, and hopefully Dominique hasn't disappeared. But a quick scroll through the comments would look like she definitely has got the hump and gone. Oh, dear. Dominique, come back. No, not this time of year. Don't be like that. Okay, here we go. We're going to do some whistling, and we'll be right back after this with human vitamin C and Bob and Viv. Look at this. The guest desperate to get in. Carl, let me in. All right, Vitor, come on in.
Hey there. How's it going?
Very well. And thank you for your generosity. You don't have to pay to be on the show,
Today I'm booked.
Hold on a minute. Let me just zoom into that. What have we got here? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Oh, I see. You've been studying this morning already, have you? Building your future.
Of course, I read all of these twice.
Really? And this is why we love you so much. A man serious about his personal development. And basically, I mean, what it seems to me, Vitor, with this, and why you are Vit C, literally, it's good for humanity, good for human beings, puts a spring in your step, full of juicy vitality, is that you're interested in your impact on society. I really get that from you. And this comes through in your work as a buyer's agent, right? And we'll find that out from Bob and Viv in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'll have to take my word for it, but that kind of is my life mission. Like, I decided a few months, maybe a few years ago, that whoever I meet or whoever I interact with, I need to make their day better somehow. Yeah. And I like to leave my mark. So actually, this book thing was because yesterday I was, organizing the books I've yet to read, that are on my list. These two I just added because they are two amazing recommendations I recommend to everyone here.
Okay.
Never Split the Difference. It's about negotiations and stuff by a guy that was the FBI hostage negotiator leader for 25 years. And so they teach how tactical empathy, his words, work and when it comes to negotiation and these things. And it's great for negotiating in everyday life, even with family and stuff. And I can tell you that all of my studies in sales have been the most helpful in dealing with Bianca, which is 3 years old.
Cheers, mate. Sold. Yeah, nice
almost
one.
Almost three.
So is what you're saying there then that you need to negotiate possibly sometimes with family? Hold on. Yay! You need to negotiate with family at Christmas, like you're an FBI negotiator.
Yes, we're constantly negotiating. I was trying to negotiate with you to let me in the show.
It worked. It worked, and I think the financial incentive helped. I think so. You understand human nature as well.
Yes, bribery is also.
Very good. Thanks for the super sticker. Really enjoy it. Okay, so let's bring on the lovely Bob and Viv, who started off this whole thing of writing an erotic novel as a collaboration in the community here. Terrible,
really?
Terrible. Yeah. Actually, let me show you the cover of it, just to build things up a little bit in anticipation of Bob. I think it's mainly Viv, actually. But this is our new book that we're working on. Talking of, this should go on your big pile of books. This is the erotic collaboration from the community here. Things That Go Gump in the Night, a collaboration of the riot of gumpers, the paperback rioters here. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. People chipping in little sections of it. A truly collaborative and negotiated effort. So let's bring them on. Bob and Viv are here from the North of Portugal. Good morning to you both. How are you?
Good morning. We're great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we can hear you. A little bit faint, but we can hear you. Main thing is we can see your lovely smiling faces. Happy people, happy to be in Portugal, I think. Where are you and how are you finding it?
Well, we're actually real near Faixa, just south of Ponta de Lima. But in Ponta de Lima, frequently and around the area, discovered a 12th century church and cloister last night, just wandering. So
we went looking for plants and we found a convent. So
yes,
that's kind of our life.
That sounds like a monk's dream. Went looking for plants and found a convent instead. Amazing. So you look like you've got a beautiful place there. Were you helped in this process by the man on the right of our screen?
Yes, we were helped so much. He found this beautiful little stone cottage for us to come to. It's fully furnished, has everything we need. We just walked in with food and we were home.
Yeah. Really?
And a bunch of baggage.
A lot of
baggage. Well, we've all got baggage, Bob. We've all got baggage.
It was just 24 boxes.
Yeah, boxes, not baggage, boxes.
Your luggage rather than baggage.
Like I actually, when I was there at the airport, because I went there with my friend that has like a moving service and everything. And suddenly I get a call from them and he was like, hey, the security guy wants to speak with you. And I get the security guy on the phone and like, hey, can you go on arrivals? My colleague is there. He's already aware of your presence. So being there, we're going to need help to move everything. And then all of a sudden, a cowboy arrives, cowboy hat, those big boots, and the big buckle. It was too heavy for the baggage, and like it just keeps coming and coming. But all good. We all survived.
Tell us a bit more, Bob and Viv, about this man. He's our, I call him our man in the north. I realised yesterday he is Vit C, possibly the most useful vitamin to mankind. What's he done for you up there? And would you have? Were you planning to be in the north of Portugal, or has he swayed you a little bit to live up there?
We kind of thought we'd like the north, but we weren't sure. But when we saw Vitor on your show, that's the first time that I saw him. Bob didn't. He was at work, and I just loved him. So I thought, I need to call him. I need to call this man. And I did, and he helped us so much. He was invaluable to our moving process. I told him we would have come anyway, but it would have been a whole lot harder and taken a lot longer without him.
Yeah.
So he found our house. He gave us information. If he didn't know the answer to something, he'd find out for us. He's I can't say enough good things about Vitor. He's so helpful. Just so helpful.
He is amazing. I'm sorry to talk about you in the third person. Go on, Bob. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that his command of basically American English, even down to the idioms, has been so refreshing. At one point, he was so instrumental in getting this rental set up. Not only did he find it, but just in preparing the way.
He negotiated the deal for us. Yes.
And we were having a hard time with the contract bit, and finally we get a video call from Vitor. It's we're at a Mexican standoff.
We were amazed he knew what a Mexican standoff was.
He grew up watching American TV, didn't you, Vitor? That's. I mean, your knowledge, absolutely, as Bob says there, of right down to the sort of granular idiom level of English is remarkable. And you grew up playing computer games and watching American animations and that sort of thing, right?
Basically, yeah. And I almost forgot about the American standoff thing, but yeah. It was like because we were at a situation where they weren't feeling comfortable in signing, or rather in paying the deposit without having the signed contract, right? And the owner wasn't comfortable in signing the contract without receiving the payment, because the contract also basically acts like a receipt. And so it was a Mexican standoff situation. But as you can see, it worked. So,
well, look, Rebel Mama's not happy about you following FBI procedures here. Although James says I used Vitor's "let me in" negotiation in my D7 process, so it seems to work for James. But I've got a feeling that the FBI might be reading your book one day. Well, there's this guy in Portugal, in the north of Portugal. He's written this book, and we need to put this into practice because he creates good feeling and harmony around the world. And isn't that our job? Maybe. I don't know. So the north of Portugal, maybe between the three of you can tell us more about it. I think it's overlooked. I think it's underrated. What first alerted you, Bob and Viv, to exploring more the north, let's say, than Porto or I know Porto's considered the north, but then there's the north, isn't there? North of Porto. You didn't go to the Algarve. You didn't go to Lisboa. You haven't even gone to Porto. You've gone further north. What started that off in the first place from your remote viewing, as it were?
We were investigating several places. We thought we might want to be on the beach, but when I saw the north, we came from the mountains of Colorado, so this feels like home. It's we have mountains where we don't have any neighbors, so there's one up above us, but we never see them. So we're in a kind of a remote place, which we like. We have a car, so we like it out here. We're only 15 minutes from town, so we're not very remote, but we're used to driving. We lived on the side of a mountain in Colorado, and it was an hour to go anywhere. So This is very close for us.
Yeah.
We like the weather. It's very dry in Colorado. So I'm from Florida, and I wanted more rain, more green, more plants. So we have all of that here. It's perfect.
The weather was a significant factor because we didn't want real hot, but for us this is balmy. Even in the winter, we're very glad to experience the winter as we look for long-term lodging. But the north felt like home from the beginning, and we did start in the south, started our search in the south, and worked our way up the coast and did a lot of looking inland. Basically, it's because I started as a farm boy in Iowa, and that was one of the challenges, was communicating with Vitor the rural nature, particularly of my life.
Oh wow, yeah, and we got this picture in yesterday. Sorry, Viv, go on.
Yes,
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing. This is what you can see, isn't it? From out the windows in northern Portugal, horses and cows roaming wild and coming up to your front door. Thanks to Rebel Mama for this picture, but that's the lifestyle you like as well, right?
Yes, we had goats yesterday. They just came tripping over the hillside and invaded us, so that was great.
Like sound of music. Fantastic. What would you add to that, Vitor? I mean, are you surprised by how this is changing? It would seem that people who are coming to Portugal who don't want hot weather but want to experience the Portuguese soul, as it were, and all that's wonderful about Portugal, but without baking alive in the sunshine. Are you surprised about the growing number of people who are interested in your part of the country?
Not really, because I do believe that everybody has different wants and needs. And personally, I never really liked the heat too much. I never really liked the beach. And now maybe half of you are going to hate me or something. I don't know. But I've never been to Algarve. I never wanted to go to Algarve. Just thinking about the heat, it's like, nah, I just rather be here where it's chillier. I prefer to see the mountains and nature and all of these things. And I'm not sure if there are more people being interested in the north, or if it's just that we are finding more people who are interested in the north and these areas. And, there is a lot to love here. There are some people who wouldn't like these characteristics, and that's fine. Like, that's also why I'm doing this, because I feel like it's an untapped part of the country. Obviously, I'm biased. I live here, but it's such a great place to live. Like Ponte de Lima is that interesting mix within, a rural area and
Mm.
also a center where everybody gathers. So, you can be in the center of the village, people everywhere, cars, commotion, blah, blah, blah. You walk like 100 meters in one direction and you're like, there's almost nobody there, and
Yeah.
nature.
That's superb. Look, Buzz is saying he doesn't like the beach either. I don't think you're alone in that. It's just one of those things in life, isn't it? When you say I'm not very interested in the beach, you just think you're a bit of a loner. But actually, when it comes to it, when you out yourself like that, I think other people can recognise that.
Yes.
A lot of people really don't like lying on beaches, and so northern Portugal is and so many other parts of Portugal are
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then sand gets into places it shouldn't be, and
Exactly. That's what you say, isn't it? What's in it for me? Sand, probably. Okay, so we are having a little bit of a struggle hearing you, Bob and Viv. I don't know if you can shout a little bit more or move closer to your laptop. James also saying this is another important thing about the north of Portugal. It is where, of course, the Netflix series Gloria has been filmed. And it sounds like you might be turning up in Gloria 12. I think they should write him in sooner than that. Is there a noticeable Gloria effect in the north of Portugal at the moment?
can you remind me what that is?
I did my impersonation of it yesterday on Netflix. There's a really outstanding series called Gloria, which is looking at the interplay between the Cold War and how Portugal was intertwined with Cold War politics. I hope I'm not giving too much. I mean, this is really just background stuff on the series, but it's set at a listening station in northern Portugal. And how the PIDA as they were, that's the secret police, isn't it, of Portugal, and the government were and the whole levels of intrigue and so on that go with that, and with the way human nature is. That's what the series is based around. But it's so well made. It's like it has the ethic, I think, of Mad Men, if you like. Part of Mad Men, certainly the earlier parts of that series, with the styling of it, and you get that with Gloria. And a lot of it is great sort of slightly suspenseful music, long shots of northern Portugal, and people stopping and having clandestine conversations where everything begins with a cigarette. It's like, tá bem, desculpe. Obrigado. And you could barely make out what that. It's a really good way of learning Portuguese. It's very, very colloquial and often quite mumbled because it's all spy espionage stuff. But so many cigarettes, and I think it was Suze who said the other day, if they took out the lighting of cigarettes, the series would be half as long. It's just like that, but it's all part of the Portuguese atmosphere. And it looked like everybody, as soon as you went to school, you learned to smoke in northern Portugal in those days. Maybe that's still true, I don't know. But that's Gloria, well worth watching. Bob and Viv, are you fans of that series?
We haven't watched it yet. I have heard about it, but we've had no time since we got here. So
of course,
we'll start today.
Busy making a home, right? So I ask? Can I pry a little bit? What have you been up to? What's it like landing in northern Portugal as expats? How have you been busying yourselves? Because I think there can be that now what moment where you stop and you go, okay, we're here. But it doesn't sound like that for you. You've been busy doing loads of stuff, having a look round.
Well, definitely. When we first landed, so to speak, that very next day, Vitor took us shopping, took us around town. And the first purchase I made was an axe.
Of course.
And yeah. Because
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
The second one was a blowtorch with those gas canisters on the bottom.
Yeah, because that having the hands-on help was just fantastic, but the wood was too large for the stove. I had to split it. The house had been closed. It was damp. We needed to warm it up. So it was all about finding food, finding tools. But I've always been a hands-on outdoors work type person. So for me, I enjoy splitting the wood. every day or two,
He does.
and we enjoyed the challenges. But so that was the first thing was buy an axe. What can you?
Buying groceries is an adventure. I can't read anything. So I don't. Yeah, it's a big adventure. Vitor went and translated for me a little bit, but now I'm on my own, so it's good. I'm learning. We're learning. We're just learning every day.
Yes.
Where to go? Who has what? We go to Brinco Marsh every other day.
Oh yeah, you know what Brinco Marsh is, Carl?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, bricolage is, or it's a bit like Leroy's, isn't it? Leroy Merlin. It's a DIY
Yes.
store. Okay, yeah. Or Home Depot, you call it in the States, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we went to Viana do Castelo, looking around, had a wonderful time there. And a lot of times we would just go out and wander, like finding the convent yesterday. It was great. So we're just learning the area, learning Ponte de Lima, what's here. We've connected with a few other expats who are up here. And that's been great. We feel like we've been here for years now. It's only been 2 weeks today.
Is it only 2 weeks? That's amazing.
Only two weeks. Yes.
I feel like you've been there for years as well. That's incredible. You look so settled. Yeah. You look so settled. That's a really good sign, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's definitely the right decision for us. We knew at the moment we landed. It's just we get everything that we love and the Portuguese people. So what could be better?
Yeah, absolutely. Bob, I think you're going to add something there.
Oh, I was just thinking. I remembered when we try not to hassle Vitor, and so buying a car, we did as much as we could on our own, and that was definitely an adventure, and the occasional phone call was definitely a help.
I remember, like, I got the phone call. Hey, how's it going? Vitor, we're pretty much buying the car, but the guy doesn't speak Portuguese, or rather, the guy doesn't speak English. I don't speak Portuguese. Can you just ask him if there's anything else we need to do? And then I called to the guy and I was like, hello, they're saying if you have any questions for them or anything. And no, I think everything's good, but maybe ask them if they want this and that. And then that was done.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, they seemingly took care of everything on their own.
Very good. Well done, you two. And excellent backup service there from Vitor.
Absolutely.
351-939-133003. If you're listening to this on the podcast and you want Vitor's number, which Buzz does, I hope you've got that now, Buzz. Another contribution to the novel has just come in. And I think this has been inspired by Bob's axe, possibly. Our hero worked hard for a living. During the week, he worked dawn to dusk as a lumberjack deep in the forest. A metaphor there, I'm sure. However, today was Saturday, and he was heading for the early shift at the tripe factory. Now, this is a thing in northern Portugal, isn't it? Tripe. Have you eaten the tripe yet?
No, not yet. Bob did have blood rice, and with all the bits that come with it. So that was our first meal in Portugal. We went to a restaurant, and he got the blood rice. I thought it was a bold move.
That is a bold move.
I think it had tripe on that one.
Did it?
It might have. If it did, I didn't recognize it.
Because it usually comes on the
so
side.
I ate tripe as a kid.
Do you know what, Viv? I think that's the idea. You're not meant to recognize the tripe. So the chef.
Well, I didn't recognize it.
That works.
There were unrecognizable bits. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's a bit alarming. When I had a similar, a very, very traditional Portuguese meal once, I think part of the animal skin still had the number on it, where they tattoo it on. That was a little bit alarming that time when that happened.
Yeah.
So how are you finding the food? How was the blood rice, Bob? And what else have you guys been trying?
Well, we're enjoying it, definitely.
Bob loved the blood rice. He thought he really liked it.
Yeah, the meal was great. That's one of the advantages of Vitor's friendship, meeting him at Panlima and him introducing us to what different fillings were. And of course, he knows the proprietor and had a good chat. Yes. So we've had the fish. Viv had fish yesterday that still had the heads on it, something we're not used to. She handled it just great.
I did.
Very good.
It was delicious.
we definitely enjoy the food. It is very different from Viv's Southern cooking. South.
Some of it isn't though. Some of it's very similar. I mean, we eat nose to tail in the South. So I ate tripe as a kid. My grandmother cooked it. I ate pig's feet and pig tails and pig ears. So we ate the whole animal.
At home. You'll be right at home here, absolutely, with that. And it's absolutely right. If we slaughter animals, we should make the best use of the whole thing and not be picky and wasteful. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Carl, on your WhatsApp, I sent you pictures of their first meal at the restaurant, I think the blood rice does have some tripe in there.
Okay.
When you show it, I can explain a little bit what it is.
I will download those, but I've got some shocking news in. Apparently, Gloria wasn't shot so much in the north of Portugal. We'll come to that. We've got some other comments coming in there. We'll get to that. Sintra is wonderful. Ubi and Rebel. Andy's telling those two that Sintra is wonderful. When the tourists aren't jammed in, ideally pick a clear day because the vistas are outstanding there at Sintra. Going back to Vitor in Gloria here, Vitor plays the lead role of a Portuguese negotiator working with the US FBI to be of service, making lives better. I can see him. We can see him in that role, can't we? Absolutely.
If I'm also service of making lives better, why would I be with the FBI?
Okay, fair point. All right, but maybe this is a plot twist. You know, this is them. They might fund it if you reframe them in that way. Who knows?
True.
That's if they don't fund it already. But it's only half as long because nobody smokes in the new millennium. Right. There are indeed mountains, but shrouded in the mist this morning over there, Castelo Branco way. Think winter months are better, says Ubi. It was drizzling, misty, and moonlit last night. For me, it was perfect. You see, we can't make that assumption, can we? That people want the beach and that they want the sun and the heat. You know, some people are not coming to Portugal for that, but at the same time, they're still finding all that's good and great about Portugal as well.
Yes.
I love the beach in Algarve. Hopefully, I'll find Vitor's twin and that he is a surfer, says Abu. Can you replicate yourself? Are there any plans? Has Elon Musk been in touch to try and clone you for services around the world, Vitor?
That is classified.
That is classified, obviously. I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. I'm so sorry. Sintra can be clearly overcrowded. We went 1 January to be able to see everything. There you go. There's a top tip from a local. Go in January or February to Sintra so that you can see what's going on. And there's still an awful lot of cigarette smoking here in Portugal, says Natalie, who doesn't sound entirely happy about that.
But it has gotten a lot better because I remember when I was a kid, we used to go, to Braga, to the mall, and there was like this food area, and I remember that every single person there was like, we're smoking. So just chimneys all around. I used to hate the smell, but now you can't smoke indoors, so it's definitely an improvement.
Are teachers allowed to smoke still in Portugal? In class?
No.
You say that. My school, my English teacher used to smoke in class. That's how it was in my British school. Vitor, I don't care for the heat either. My body doesn't care for damp. Still searching for a temperate place to land. Vitor, suggestions. Great question for our man in the north. Vit C, what do you say about that?
Well, obviously I'm biased, but I really like Barcelos. I like Ponte de Lima as well, which is where I am living. Braga is also a nice place because here in these northern areas, they're not as popular as the southern areas. The temperature is slightly on the colder side. Braga was a bit chillier, I felt, than when I was in Barcelos. But still, its temperature never goes below 0, which is like 32 Fahrenheit. To give an idea, I've only seen snow, like snowing here, like 2 times in my life.
Oh, really?
And also, these areas are not the how much you would have to invest per square meter. It is lower than a lot of other parts of the country, so you could also get something better there. Actually, on Bob and Viv's case, I'm even considering maybe Belmonte near Serra da Estrela, because since they are used to driving a lot, it could be an option to them because there, the price is like half of what it is here per square meter.
Okay. And you're going to get more snow. If you want snow, Serra da Estrela is the place to go.
It is close to Serra da Estrela, yes. It's not on Serra da Estrela. It is a short distance away. But I do know a great agent there, specializes in the area. he like also has to travel like 1 hour for all the different places that he needs to do visits and showings. But it could be an idea.
Excellent stuff. Okay, and this damp thing, this is a problem. You know, Mrs. M talks about this more than I do when she gets the chance. But how are you finding that, Bob and Viv? It's a lot to do with the build of the property, isn't it?
It definitely has to do with the property. Moving forward, we will probably do like most Portuguese homes and not be on the ground floor for that reason.
Yeah.
And but it's so to answer Sue's so it rained the first week before we got here all week. Then last week, as we were doing all of our running around, it was sunny all week and not damp at all. This week it's damp again. So there is a perception it rains all the time here.
It doesn't.
And we've only been here 2 weeks, but it's like it does and then it doesn't. And when it is raining, like this week, it's still on and off. It's not constant. So, but the humidity is higher. Probably further south, I guess, if you didn't want that.
I think it's humid everywhere, though. I see posts from people in the south, and they say it's humid in the Algarve. So I think it's humid everywhere. The damp may be slightly worse in the north, but we work with the damp and the cold. It's a fact of life, so we don't grump about it. We just work with it and handle it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
And
all
we found out that their home has like a what's it called? A water stream thing, like 15 meters below. So when the house was not in use, the ground was also swelling up a little bit because of the humidity. But I think it's probably better now, I hope.
Oh, yes.
It's much better now. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How is the water feature? Yeah, and it looks so beautiful. Your home looks so well appointed.
We love it. We love it. Yeah.
And this is another thing I think people need to know. This is the kind of stereotypical view of the North is it can be a little bit sort of primitive in terms of home quality and build.
No,
but you're looking at a dream home behind you there, aren't you? And these are in abundance, Vitor.
That is actually, and spoiler alert for people watching the show, that home is actually, kind of a vacation home. It is meant more for temporary lodging. But I met with the owner and I'm like, hey, would you consider renting that out? I have some clients here. And he was like, yeah. And, I also negotiated the price. And when they leave, which we're going to start looking for another more permanent place for them, then anybody who wants to spend a week or something at that home, you'll be able to.
Oh, yes. It looks fantastic. Really, really homely, nice and snug.
You'll be like 8 minutes away from your boy.
It'd be what? Say that again, Vitor.
8 minutes away from your boy.
Oh, okay. Yes. So yes, you've got a help at hand there. The concierge service, the Vit C concierge, is close by.
That's a good phrase for it. It really is.
It has been.
Yeah.
Concierge
great
service.
thing that Bob and Viv helped me out with is that they made me realize that just being a realtor doesn't make sense for me, because particularly when I'm dealing with foreigners, because to me the job isn't over when we sign the contract. That's when realtors or whatever get their commission, but then you still have the whole everything that you need to start living here. And I want to be the guy who helps you come here. I told them like which items we usually buy for groceries. Okay, we usually buy these brands we usually avoid, and blah blah blah. Prices that you see here already have tax included. All of these things, because I want to help people settle, live, be comfortable, and of course, and I'll help with anything necessary. So I'm still weighing how I'm going to shift my business.
You make a really good point, Vitor, and I think there is the now what syndrome. So much of the focus for expats is about getting here, and then once that's done, we're talking about the rest of people's lives, aren't we? So there is clearly a great opportunity to help people and for people to be helped after the obvious process of getting people into the country in the first place. The suggestion from Andy is Lisboa for that, to avoid the damp. I guess in any great conurbation, you're going to be further away from the damp. It's a feature of rural living as well, of course. And look, the bombshell news: Carl Gloria was not filmed up here in the north. Why do I think that? More around you in Montijo, Santarém, and Setúbal. So there you go. I am corrected. I just wanted it to be in the atmospheric and moody north for some reason. Natalie says cigarettes are not my preferred combustible. Well, I wonder what is. Is this more of the erotic novel? I had 2 layers over my tank top. Is that the beginning of an erotic paragraph? I don't know. Tank top, not necessarily synonymous with such. It
could be.
Let's find out. To keep getting from soaked, but took the sweater off, and my thermal kept me dry. Not too sexy, really, there, Ubi. I don't think, but we'll run that past the whole panel and see. This year,
we can do better.
Do you think so, Viv? You make the final decision.
So. We can do better. Yes.
Okay. As the person who must take the credit for starting this off, you make the final choice here. This year, winter solstice took me to a place where I could commune with nature and give recognition to the ancient people who lived, hunted, and farmed these lands for over 3,000 years. Astonishing. Come on, Gary. Don't keep it to yourself. But I'm sure that's in abundance up there in the north as well. The Peneda de Gerês. It feels so ancient, doesn't it? Signs said they were closed. Oh, Ubi's he's got his tank top off. He's down to his thermals, and this is the next bit. The signs said they were closed, but gates were open for the hiking trail, and I came back down on the roads. No, I don't. I think that's just for the tourism book, not the erotic novel. Okay, cold in the winter. It has 4 proper seasons from the centre upwards. Gary, have you been hugging trees in your loincloth again? I think we probably has there. So I think that's Pete basically making the case for central and upward, 4 proper seasons. I mean, that's a lovely thing to be able to experience the 4 seasons here still in Portugal. When I came to the castle gates, is this another metaphor? No easy way to climb over. Plus, I was pretty sure it wouldn't be good karma to try climbing over. Okay, this is unfolding in front of our very eyes. This trip out for Ubi. Tucked in the rocks was a cat who spoke to me. I think Ubi's been eating the mushrooms, hasn't he? Tucked in the rocks was a cat who spoke to me and asked me for some food. I promised I'd return today with some snacks. Hopefully they're open. It sounds like you're having a great time, Ubi, in Portugal. Okay. I miss California for the variety. Oh, she is telling us about her preferred combustibles. Very healthy. I miss California for the variety in the cannabis shops, the edibles, etc., says Natalie Gray there.
I actually found out there's a shop for that in Braga. Or 2, I think, according to Maria.
Yep, and as I understand it, medical cannabis also beginning to become available here in Portugal and available on some medical insurance.
I wonder if we'll have cannabis NFTs soon.
I see. The thing, this is where Vitor says things that I don't understand. Can we have a decoding of what an NFT is and how that might relate?
Can if you want. And actually, to give you an idea, an NFT is a technology. It's basically something that cannot be, hacked or altered or modified. It'll be a longer conversation, and I'm just going to explain it roughly. And actually, on Bob and Viv's case, an NFT could have made our whole experience a lot easier, because we were working with another agency here, right? With another agent, she's also great. I already took Bob and Viv there. We were all talking. But for the contract, she sent the contract and took pictures and sent to Bob and Viv. They had to print it. They signed it. They mailed it, which I still have it here. I received their contract on this.
What an exciting thing to get.
And, and they had to pay a fee, postage, and all of those things. But now, on the team that I'm on now, we have the technology to use NFT contracts. So instead of having to have physical paper, everybody on the contract gets an email, and the phone as well. They sign it on their computer. It gets validated in the blockchain. Again, another term that takes some explanation. And then it has legal standing, and it only takes a few minutes. And I've already closed the deal here with another expat couple, and they signed in America. The owner signed here. Everything is done.
Using this new system?
Let me just reset the camera because it's blurry. But yes. Okay, the camera didn't unblur itself.
I think your camera might have gone to that shop in Braga, possibly, Vitor.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think so.
one sec.
He's gone.
So
Okay,
we never really bought incense to our home.
Okay.
And so my dad used to have some, and then we were, Christmas shopping, and we were one of these shops called Natura, right? And
yes,
they now mostly sell clothes, but they also have incenses and these things. And so they had these little packs of incense, and so we got this one because we asked which one she would recommend, and she recommended this one, and Marie was like, "Oh yeah, that smells nice." And then when we get home and, I burned the first one, she was like, "Wait, is that really cannabis?" And I was like, What else would it be?
So really, there is a
but it doesn't have that smell. It smells like incense. So, I don't know.
Do you know, when people used to first burn incense, I think, in the 60s and 70s, it was to cover up the smell of cannabis. Now the incense is actually made of cannabis. How things have changed. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so culinary tips coming in. Instead of sugar in black coffee, try it with some honey. I recommend Algarve orange blossom honey. Yeah, do look after the bees and the honey makers, everybody. Very important.
Speaking of which,
Bob
and Babe, did you try the long coffee yet?
What was it?
The long coffee. The capsules.
Oh, okay. Okay, coffee maker. Because this is the thing for Americans, isn't it? You've got to get used to, well, if you're not an espresso drinker, you have to learn how to ask for your Americano, which really is an abatonado here, isn't it? But what's going on here, Bob and Viv? Has he been teaching you how to have coffee here as well?
Because a few days ago, they sent me a message like, where do we get like a big coffee? We're filling it, blah, blah, blah. And so I was at the mall. I was at an espresso store because I know they had an espresso machine. And so I bought them some capsules that are made to be used in a large cup.
Yeah. Worked very well.
Good. That's a really important thing, obviously, as part of your new life here in Portugal, to be able to get. Oh, there we go. Decent coffee there. Fantastic. Have you been to Monsanto and Belmont? Love the castles here to protect the north from the Moors. And Ubi saying, yeah, I'm a sucker for castles. Montserrat was amazing. Magic castles are a dime a dozen in this land. They are. You just can travel. You can do an entire castle tour here in Portugal. And Suze, Pamela, I don't know what have you considered Leiria? You see, this is the moment where everybody jumps in to recommend their favorite part of Portugal. So Leiria being
of course.
By Pam there. Viv, this question for you. Do you know how to make fried green tomatoes? Says Abu.
I do. Bob loves my fried green tomatoes. Yes.
Can we have a quick run through of your recipe? How do you go about it? This is the time of year, isn't it? I think there might be a few green tomatoes left over in people's greenhouses.
Yes, I haven't found any green enough yet, but I'm still looking. You just slice the tomatoes, put salt and pepper on them, and then you dip them in flour or cornmeal, whichever you prefer, and you fry them in very hot oil. And you don't fry them very long, and they're delicious.
Fantastic.
Okay, it's fantastic there, says Bob. I like the sound of that. Like it's almost like a tomato pecora. Very good. Smoking in Portugal is nothing like France, says James. Phew. I think he's glad about that. Well, after Malta legalized cannabis last Thursday, things could be changing here too. So they think quite a lot of people there looking forward to a new change. I mean, because Portugal, of course, has a drug policy that has been the envy of the world for, I think, a couple of decades now, but perhaps a little bit behind the times when it comes to relaxation of cannabis use here in Portugal. Which
it doesn't mean it's not frowned upon. But it's. I think it's something to do with like you can have drugs for consumption, but not in enough quantities to be able to sell it. Yeah. So it's something weird like that. Never delved too much into it. But yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure, like in so many places around the world, it is in the process of evolution. Jazz Funk track of the day. Can you please reassert that for us, Chris? Because I lost that earlier on in this wonderful selection of comments and contributions we have from everybody this morning from the community. Portugal is one great big playground, says Chris. You'll find something you truly love. You'll also find that every season brings a pocket of joy. How about that? I've
Completely.
noticed that I can't sit outdoors to eat or sit on a bench in a public space without someone smoking near me and spoiling the air. I mean, this is a challenge, isn't it? If you are choosing to be outside at the moment, that is where the smokers go as well. So maybe that will further split into two.
Like
there,
I have a very sensitive nose, and whenever I was walking on the street, sometimes I would get that smell, and I would be like, spider sense. Oh, there's the guy on the other side of the street smoking.
The other side of the street. Okay. And Natalie saying to Suze, I live in Tamar, which is wonderful, but I've heard it gets hot in summer. It certainly does. It can get into the 40s there in Tamar. People talking about humidity as well. Some days were 98%. So really not so bad here in Portugal, although it does get to 90 for sure. We've experienced that here. Love having 4 proper seasons rather than grey and cloudy, smoggy, and a few days of sun as I did back in London, says Pete. And to Ubi from Rebel Mama, lol, I'm from Los Angeles, so anything over 30 is humid to me, lol, but up here, I'm not bothered at all. So another tick for the north of Portugal, not bothered at all there. When it's over 60 in my house, I turn on the dehumidifier, problem solved. And these are available everywhere, aren't they, the dehumidifier units that you can use. Thanks all, says Suze, I get arthritic aches, trying to find climate to ease that. It might be related to barometric pressure, not sure. Dry seems to help, so maybe further south for you. Do you have dehumidifiers in every room? I have one in the sala de estar, but thinking, where's the sala de estar? But I should have one in every room. Do you go to that? Have you got one in every room there, Bob and Viv? Is that required or just the important strategic?
We have one central one on the wall, and
It works very well.
The AC has a dehumidifier.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know. So an integrated unit. So your AC will give you warm air if you want it, cool air when you need it, and it dehumidifies as well.
It doesn't give us warm air, but it gives us
air
conditioning in the summer and dehumidifier the rest of the time.
But it circulates the dry heat of the fireplace.
Yeah. So
and so it's been, without that dehumidifier, it wouldn't have dried out well. But that was one of the things he pointed out in his pictures of the walkthrough, was it had the wall unit, and it's been a lifesaver. It really has.
Good. Okay. So good to know. Good to know.
As a side note, if you allow me, most of the families that I've been through, most of them never really even had dehumidifiers in their homes. Some did, like some would use tiny things, others would be electronics. Actually, we bought our first one like a year or so ago, and it's like a box that there's this, I know some bar looks like a bar of detergent that you place on top, and then it just starts dripping as the humidity would come on or whatever. So yeah.
There are solutions. It's good to know. Okay, here we go. Back to this. Our hero loved coming home to the warm, welcoming embrace of his loved one. He always looked forward to that big, cute, beaming smile, which always reminded him of a burnt-out fuse box he once replaced. It's just domestic bliss there.
I called him my hero yesterday.
Gary Austin from Natalie. His loved one wagged her fluffy tail and barked a greeting. There's another one.
Oh no.
I have two. I think we're really mixing it up this morning, aren't we? Back to dehumidifiers now, I think. One in the worst room that shows the percentage, so I know when to turn it off. The other in the front. But since I have been lighting the wood stove, there isn't a problem. Now, there's another natural country solution. And that's why Bob loves splitting the timber, so to speak, I think every other day. Yeah, they go and get some nice, warm, real fire energy going on in the house.
Oh, yes.
Really important in the country, right? He stripped off the outer layers before attaching Oh my God. All right. That's a specialist. There's a niche. That's a niche publication, I think, there, Andy. So the Christmas lights. It's getting kinky. The Christmas lights in Povoa de Varzim. Have you been to Povoa de Varzim, guys?
No, not yet.
Another treasure, another pleasure. We're waiting you there. Okay. Here is a link to someone else's YouTube video. Thanks for that, Mark. Fantastic. James thinking that 4 proper seasons from the middle upwards is a euphemism as well there this morning. And no, the shop in Braga is a CBD. Okay, so it's medicinal CBD oil without the THC.
Oh, so I see. Yeah, I just saw like the leaf in the store and I'm like, that's here. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Where I ate last night, says EB, roasted pork, which was delicious. The menu binder was made of cortiza as well there. So yes, make sure you order the roast. Don't ever order the roast cork because it can be a bit chewy. Sorry, I can't I cannot bring Canada. He's coming in from Amsterdam. People are asking him already. I think I can't bring weed down from Amsterdam. It is
My
illegal.
wallet is Cork.
Hold on a bit. Let's have a look at that. The other day I discovered this is. Look at that.
And it's also a sweetheart handkerchief.
Yeah.
So I needed to upgrade my wallet, and I was like, "Hey, I'm representing Portugal now, so I need to get something."
Of course, the world's biggest producer, exporter of cork, and the
Yes,
other thing that it's the world's biggest producer of alongside cork is carob. Did you know that? The chocolate substitute that some parents make themselves very unpopular with. Carob, yeah, carob, chocolate substitute, a bit healthier for you, but nothing like chocolate, quite honestly.
Oh, and did you know that the cork tree is actually protected here in Portugal? You're not allowed to cut them or anything.
Quite right too. Fantastic. And that pattern was just like the flooring I put down a few years ago back called Castelo Cork. Truly a powerful omen. I'm hoping that cork makes more and more of a comeback in Portugal and around the world as an interior, design element. Because
my in-laws had cork floor in some rooms, and it was not a very good idea. So they have since replaced it. They made, we call it beautiful to want. I don't remember what's in English. That the kind of wooden tiles. That's not really wood, but looks like wood.
Laminate flooring.
Yes, laminate flooring. Yeah. But cork itself is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I would hope to see more of that than I would laminate flooring.
But as a side note, if anybody here has wine bottles, you should leave them on the side, because if the corks get dried, they let some air in. So you should leave them on the side so they get wet. Otherwise, they could turn into vinegar.
So many tips and life hacks here today. Vitor, definitely coming to see you to have a coffee with you in Ponta de Lima. You've got his phone number there.
Please.
For doing that. I may have to go to Amsterdam, although I am looking for there are people who are bringing CBD oil into Portugal. That's definitely available here now. You may not have to go all the way to Amsterdam.
But it doesn't have THC.
Yeah.
No THC. Isn't it funny? Everyone seems to know about this. It's not in every day in the culture, is it? Or on the TV or anything like that, or mainstream media. But everyone seems to know about this. Interesting. Batonada is a double espresso in alcohol or a black coffee. And you may have to say Sheu as well with that, right, Vitor, if you want some extra water in there?
Yes. Sheu is full, yes. And also some places now you can actually say you want an Americano coffee. So that is probably easier to remember.
Okay, but don't you dare ask for a batonado and speak Portuguese, please, everybody. Yes, I smelled cigarette smoke once and looked for the source. No one to be seen. Yikes. Phantom fragrance there. Salad. I didn't know this. Here's some Portuguese vocabulary for you. Sala de estar is a living room. So is that in the room to be, where you go and be? Is that what estar means?
Yes, it's like where's like the TV and the couches and these things.
The room for being. Okay, fantastic. Okay, any other comments that we should read before we leave today? Vitor, here's one for you. Does Lisbon have coffee shops like Amsterdam where you could smoke marijuana legally? No, not happening in Portugal yet, is it, Vitor?
My friend.
My friend
is I don't know Lisbon too well, but when I was there a few weeks, like in October, I definitely got the sense that Lisbon is a lot more progressive than here. Like, for one thing, I saw a lot more hair colors there.
Hair colors.
Wow. All right.
At the same time, I was also, because I had this idea that Lisbon was this giant, huge, packed city. And still, I was positively surprised with how proactively helpful people were. Yeah. Like, I saw people being nice to strangers on the street all the time. And, like, I still remember when I was at the Garde do Oriente, which is a beautiful place I had never seen before. You have like dozens of lanes of buses. You also have trains on the top or something, and you have metro on the bottom. So everything is in there, and you have like an underground mall, which is really weird. Oh, and taxis as well. Of course, you also have to have taxis. And I saw. Yeah, and I saw a blind person, going with a stick, next to the road, and one guy going, "Hey, buddy, do you want to cross?" "Oh, no, I'm trying to go there." "All right, grab my arm, I'll take you." And it's like just like that, because we have this idea where the more people get busy and stuff and blah, 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 which is more associated with the cities that they don't have time to help the next person. Like, I didn't feel that at all. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, it's still the case, certainly in Lisbon, and I'm sure in Porto as well. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of our community would say that is the case, that the Portuguese soul is alive and well, even in the big cities. Architects are using cork as exterior cladding now. That's great to hear. And good morning to you, Carolina Moonbeam. Lovely to see you. Thank you for piping up. You've just missed the Mushrooms Festival, and we're talking. I think it's very interesting, isn't it? The substances we're talking about are both medicinal and recreational. Here again, I don't know how much of the mushroom action here was recreational or how much it was edible. Probably mostly edible. But with this weather, there will be plenty more. So many amazing flavors on the land. Fancy a hunt and some wild mushrooms. Be very careful doing that. We always have to say that when people go foraging for mushrooms. But absolutely,
actually,
amazing.
Carl, did I ever tell you the story about the Monte do Faixo and the torches and the Moors?
No, go on.
Right. So near where I lived, and there's also some allusions to that here in Ponta de Lima. There is a mountain called Monte do Faixo. Faixo is also a word for like torch, right? And it's called that way because actually, if you go in there, you can actually see on the ground still like these round foundations where they used to have their homes, right? And so it was a small farmers' village and shepherds on top of the hill. And when the Moors came, they had no chance, so they all fled, with all of their livestock. And so one of the farmers had an idea because, none of them could fight. There were only like a few dozens or whatever, but they had like lots of sheep and goats and whatever. And he was like, hey, let's add a torch to the horn of each sheep. Let's all go running uphill, making as much noise as we possibly can. And they go in there, making a lot of noise. Ah! And the guys are like, holy shit, there's an army coming, run! And actually, in Ponte de Lima, close to the bridge, there's like, those tiles that are painted in blue, that have like paintings that are very typical Portuguese. You have one there, and the description says, Cabras são senhor, which roughly translated to Shakespearean English is something like, goats they be, sire. And it means that when they got there, like the Crusades, and they heard about like Moors being routed and whatever, and they were all confused, the guy was asking the populace, and he was like, hey, they were goats, sir. Like they used goats to drive them away.
That is fantastic. And this is part of the inventiveness of the northern country folk, because in another invasion, they buried wine, didn't they? They didn't want their wine stolen. So there is a particular kind of wine in the north that gets buried to this day, because when they dug it up after the invaders had gone, they thought that had improved the flavor. So they still do that to this day. So these are very resourceful, intelligent people up in the north, clearly, Vitor, from whom you are descended, I would say.
Like I like food a lot, and I like cooking. And so I also like to research ingredients and these things. And sometimes I don't understand how any human being discovered certain ingredients. Like I think when I got to America, there's some plant that in order for you to not die eating it, you need to boil it like 3 times and rinse before you can actually use it to eat.
Yes.
And somehow they discovered it. How?
I think there were casualties along the way, I'm afraid to say. Jazz Funk Track of the Day. We should give our respects to the people who were harmed in the making of our modern diet, right? Jazz Funk Track of the Day, Tina Marie. Portuguese Love. Sing along, everybody. These are the lyrics from that incredible track, Portuguese Love. On a starry winter night in Portugal, where the ocean kissed the southern shore, there a dream I never thought would come to pass. So that's the music to go along with the erotic novel, and change it to the coast of your choice. It could be the up there in the north as well. Bob and Viv, thank you so much. Vitor Costa, thank you so much. Vitor will be back, of course, 4th Thursday of every month. Bob and Viv, thank you so much, you two, for being with us and sharing your 2 weeks so far, your 2-week journey. Never split the difference.
Yes.
2 weeks.
Read this.
Do
recommend it.
There he goes. That's you're on commission for that one, Vitor, or that's as usual with you, out of the goodness of your heart, I suspect.
That's also classified, but no, I don't.
That's also classified. Okay, Bob and Viv, all the best to you. You're
Thank you
presumably
too.
spending
Thank
Christmas
you to all the group.
in the north of
Oh
Portugal.
yes, tomorrow they'll be having dinner with our family and my mother-in-law, and they're going to experience the typical Portuguese Christmas. We're going to have cod and spoiler alert, and octopus and all kinds of Christmassy desserts. We'll send you some pictures.
Please do. Talking of
She's
pictures,
a great
just very,
cook.
very. Oh, that's so good to hear. There's the blood rice, isn't it? We've nearly forgot
Yes.
blood
That's
rice.
it.
In there,
I
I think.
I can see a bit of stripe there on the top. You know,
I
the
think
blood
so.
rice.
Okay.
That's very typical Portuguese, and my mother-in-law is also a specialist on that, and that's cod.
There's your
That's
cod there.
bacalhau. Yes.
That looks really vibrant and lovely and healthy. That one.
It was delicious.
I'm
Yep.
very, very picky with restaurants, but there's a reason why I recommend that one.
Okay. And what's the name of it,
Good.
please? One more
It's
time.
called Sabores do Lima. I'm going to
Sabores.
comment there on the chat.
Flavors of Lima there. Fantastic.
I'm
Okay.
also not getting
Very
any
good.
commission from that, but
Oh,
it's really
no,
good.
Sabores de Lima. Bob and Viv, thanks so much, boys. Festas. Feliz Natal to you. Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. There they go, into their lovely home, right? That's an amazing place you found them there, Vitor, which will be available later on when they found their forever home in
Yes, it
northern
will.
Portugal. That will be available with Vitor on the doorstep. So you just very quickly then, Vitor, you said Christmas Eve is the big night for you, the Portuguese families tomorrow night, bacalhau tomorrow night.
Yes, because we usually have the dinner that goes into Christmas.
Yeah.
And so the biggest challenge is probably going to be having Bianca, which is our almost 3-year-old daughter, looking at all the presents underneath the tree and not being able to open them.
But she will be able to, if she stays up until midnight tomorrow, you will open your presents, will you, at midnight?
Well, yeah, and even when I was a kid, that used to be the case. The presents would be there, but only at midnight are we allowed to open them.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, have a great one, my friend. It's been great to meet you this year. So, Boas Festas, Feliz Natal to
Likewise.
you, and an amazing Bono Novo Ano to us all. 2022 is coming up, and we look forward to being in more of your company and your blessed giving nature in the new year. Take
Somebody
care, my
has
friend.
to do it.
There he goes, Vitor Costa, who's going to get a call from the FBI because they're going to be reading his book one day. Just very quickly then, let me tell you about tomorrow's show. The Belters are going to be here tomorrow. It's the Good Morning Portugal Christmas party tomorrow. We will be on Christmas Day. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But tomorrow, the Belters are going to be doing some live music for us, live from the Algarve tomorrow. The legendary Lawler quiz to kick things off, a Portuguese Christmas quiz tomorrow morning as we really, truly get ready for Christmas. The big day of the Christmas festivities, of course, for Portuguese people, Christmas Eve. So Christmas quiz tomorrow and the Belters live from the Algarve for the Christmas party tomorrow. And I dare say a few more pictures and videos coming in from the community and a chance to wish everybody a happy Christmas tomorrow. But also on Saturday morning, we'll have a 10 a.m. start. And we'll do a live stream probably for an hour or so. If you're alone this Christmas and you'd like to connect with other people in the community, Christmas Day, 10 a.m. So normal show tomorrow. And I use the word normal loosely, obviously, with you lot. Oh, by the way, Dominique was fine. She just was upset that I didn't call her a stalwart. Of course you're a stalwart. I wasn't being exclusive in my early description of the stalwarts, Dominique. You are absolutely a stalwart. If I sent Christmas cards, that's what I would have put on it to you. But anyway, Christmas Day, 10 a.m., a bit of a gathering. And then we'll have a bit of a break from the 27th to the 31st. Next week, there will be a show going out at 8:30 every day, but it will be a best of as chosen by our YouTube members. So YouTube members, do drop me a line. Tell me what your favorite shows were of the year. You're choosing that. You're curating the shows from Monday until Friday. And of course, on New Year's Eve, we are going to do a feel-good Portugal disco, okay? Me and Mrs. M will see the new year in with you from around 11 o'clock on the 31st before we go for a swim, or probably just me, not the kids or Mrs. M, on New Year's Day at San Martino de Porto, if the weather's up for it. So just quickly to recap then, tomorrow, the Belters are here with live music, live from the Algarve, doing some numbers for us tomorrow after the Christmas quiz. Then on, it's a normal-ish show tomorrow. Christmas Day, 10 a.m. for a live stream so we can connect up And then Monday to Friday, selections of the best shows from YouTube as chosen by YouTube members. And then a New Year's Eve disco on the 31st, on Friday the 31st. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you for being here today. Loads of comments I haven't been able to get to. I'll put a few of them on the outro as we go out today. I wish you a super day. Remember, don't get too stressed. Stay dignified, you lovely gumpers, in the tumultuous world events and in the little microcosm of tumultuousness that is the festive season, of course. Stay cool, stay relaxed, stay easy, stay kind, compassionate, and full of peace, love, and joy as we light up Christmas as we move towards the special day. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.